Hey, Kristin, how you doing?
Oh, hey.
Good to
It
see
like
you.
kicked me out and then put me back in.
Uh,
This
you're
is
always
my
welcome.
Zoom background,
That's actually really nice. How did you, is that like
right?
a
I
virtual
like it.
background?
Yeah, I got it from Canva.
Wow, I like it.
They have like a category for virtual backgrounds now.
But I'm like surprised how it doesn't cut you off at all.
It's pretty good. Like
Yeah.
it just looks a lot better than just my corner of the room over here.
Hey everyone, this is Johnny FD, and welcome to episode 246 of the Travel Like a Boss podcast. I am in Sri Lanka, and I have a special episode with Kristin Wilson, who is in, was it Miami?
Miami.
Miami, Florida. And we both have our Zoom virtual backgrounds if you guys are watching this on YouTube. But this is actually the beach here in Sri Lanka. I'm just a block away, but I just couldn't film out there because it was so backlit.
I should totally have a beach background, but I just like this coffee shop. It reminds me of Amsterdam.
Yeah, it looks nice. And I do miss going to coffee shops and working at a coffee shop. So it's nice to see you in there.
Yeah, I had a lot of video calls today and I was using this background and everybody was
Uh,
like commenting. They're like, "Did you find a coffee shop that's open during the quarantine?" I was like,
yeah.
"No."
It's funny that the things that we miss, and a lot of it is really just our day-to-day lives of going to a coffee shop or going to the gym. But in this episode, the reason why I wanted to have you on is I wanted to talk about how life in a lot of ways isn't that different for digital nomads, and how it seems like a lot of our friends, our nomad friends, are coping during this quarantine way better than the average person. And you actually just wrote a really long Medium article about exactly that, right?
For sure. I was thinking about it before and then I got your email about your podcast having people call in and record messages, and it had been on my mind a lot,
Mm-hmm.
because we have all this time to think. And so I left you guys a message and then was happy to come on and talk about it. So when I was thinking about it and taking notes and making a list of all of the reasons why we aren't so
Mm-hmm.
affected, it turned into a blog post. And so I just published it. And I was like, well, this
Yeah.
works.
And
So
it was a
yeah, it's gotten good
super,
feedback. People really like it.
yeah, it's been a super well-written blog post, lots of good detail in there. And we'll link it in the show notes of this episode. And if you guys recognize Kristin's voice, she was on episode 198 when we were actually neighbors and living together in Bansko, Bulgaria.
I
That
can't
was
believe that
almost,
was 2 years ago.
I know, right? It sounds insane almost.
Like almost exactly 2 years ago. It's so
Yeah.
weird.
But welcome back. And actually that article that you posted, it was perfect timing that you put that up first, because we got a few more, actually a bunch of comments on there with feedback. And half of the people were saying, thank you for writing this. This is so spot on. This actually explains why my life hasn't changed that much. But I'll actually just read a few of them. Steve says, love this article. So many of my non-digital nomad friends are really struggling stress-wise, and I couldn't pinpoint why. I'm dealing well with this insanity, and I've been feeling guilty that I'm handling it so well. Kristin's well-thought-out article perfectly explained the why. Thanks. And we got a couple more of those too. Cory says, great article, spot on with what's going on in my mind, almost to the point of feeling a bit selfish that I'm not feeling much difference at all. And Kevin says, yep, I agree too. We have a 6 and a 4-year-old, and we're in Tulum, Mexico now, escaping the lockdown in San Diego. It's a shame that we can't go to restaurants or visit the gym or park, but our life, other than these services, are the same. We still homeschool on the road as normal and work as normal. So before we get to the downsides, or for the people that are not true, and just to stipulate this, we know that there's a lot of people who are going through, bigger struggles, whether someone's actually sick and in immediate danger of actual of death or illness. There's some people who really are financially struggling, and some people are in really bad, situations. So our condolences to these people. We feel bad, genuinely bad for these people. But this episode is really going to be about the other 99% of people who don't seem like they're struggling that much in our kind of circle. And let's first talk about some of the, let's talk about the pros and cons of it. Because, we had these 3 messages of people, saying, hey, life really isn't that bad. And I was feeling bad that my life isn't bad. Why is that? And then we'll talk about the other side as well. So why do you think that is?
Yeah, there's this guilt that I think a lot of digital nomads have been feeling silently and didn't say anything about it. And I didn't realize it until I posted this blog and I got those comments because, nobody wants to say like, hey, it's not that bad, because they feel bad about it. But one thing I've learned with blogging and writing is that you shouldn't hedge. You should just tell it like it is, and it's going to resonate with people better.
Thank you for listening to the Travel Like a Boss podcast. If you want to hear more, including the bonus How to Choose the Perfect Niche episode, join our mailing list at travellikeabosspodcast.com. See you next week, and remember, if you want to travel like a boss, you need to be your own boss. So start your online business today and start living the lifestyle you've always dreamed of.